What's going on, Postcard Marketing Pros? Today we're doing a teardown, but before we get into it, I want to talk to you about a mental model that I use that's really, really important, and it's from a book called How to Think Like a Rocket Scientist, and it's super, super useful for you, and it doesn't cost you anything, so you should use it. Basically, it's called a pre-mortem, and the idea here is you should assume that your postcard marketing campaign is going to fail miserably, that it won't work, that it'll be broken, that you won't get any results. And then you should ask yourself the question, what would I have done differently? It's a very useful way to invert the problem and think about what are the things that we could be doing differently now before we send to make sure that our campaign really rocks it. Now, today we're doing a teardown of the best postcard we've ever sent, the best series of postcards we've ever sent. And the reason that I say that is that these postcards are A, to a market where the folks are really well known, so we've got really nice tailwind. B, we've excluded all addresses of existing customers, so I know these are only new folks. C, we use all sorts of crazy tactics, psychological tactics to get people to convert. We talk about social proof. We talk about the pain that they have. We provide an offer, right? A crazy to refuse offer with an expiration date. So we're using all the tactics in our toolbox to really get people to convert. So I'm super proud to show these to you. These haven't been sent yet because we're waiting till after the election, which is a whole other topic we can get into. But let's dive in. All right, so we're going to start here with the back of the card. That's a little unconventional here. I'm only going to go over the backs of the cards first, and then I'm going to come back to the front of the card because the front of the card is where kind of a lot of the magic happens. So on the back of the card here, the buyer's leave card promise the only 100% no clog guarantee, right? This is about an offer, right? What does the product do and what's the benefit to me? And why should I act now? The offer, right? Why should I act now? We've got this crazy good offer, 50% off installation. Really, really clever. And the other thing that's important here is that you'll notice that I've got a big old phone number, and we made it big because a lot of people like to call in this neighborhood, so we made it the largest call to action. We've got the URL and we've got a QR code, 3 different ways for people to act. And this is really important. Don't worry about overloading ways for people to act. Some people might want to scan, other people might want to call. Give them the way to act that they like, and they're much more likely to do it. So that's the offer. Now we're sending 3 postcards here to the same people. It's about 5,000 folks to really get a sense of what's going to convert. So let's look at the second send here. Let's zoom in a little bit. This postcard is really important because it's about the pain. What is the pain of having to clean your gutters? Say goodbye to clogged gutters. They're built to last. Like no mosquitoes, right? That's really, really clever, right? It's really about the pain and how you won't have the pain in your life if you use this product. And again, we've got the same call to action, so there's visual consistency here. Oh yeah, I saw that offer. It's also really important to note I don't have different offers on each postcard, and I don't have different expiration dates. There's one human psychological principle called consistency. It's really, really important that you're consistent. So keep that expiration date the same for every postcard, otherwise people will know you're full of it, right? This feels like a real expiration date that actually will expire because every postcard reminds them this is the date. Let's get into the last one here. This is all about social proof. So join the 357 of your neighbors who will never have to clean their gutters again. Super important here to talk about, hey, you're not the first one here. There's a lot of other people that have used this product and they love us. And again, there's another quote there, in an area that people know. And then, of course, there's the guarantee, right? Another really important psychological principle. There's no risk here. Remove the risk. People love to buy, but they hate to be sold. It's a really important thing. All right, let's pivot now to the front side of the card. Now, you probably haven't noticed here because I haven't been scrolling down, but the front side of this card, and I'm going to preview each card so you can kind of see, and these are to different recipients, so it's not the same recipient each time. Let me zoom in here. Okay, so this card, Richard, your neighbor Richard and Teresa S. will never have to clean their gutters again. How did they do it? Okay, perfect, right? Remember that name, Richard and Teresa. Now, your neighbor Gerald D. Will never have to clean their gutters again. Different name here. Same thing, Robert and Christine will never have to clean their gutters. So what's happening here? Like what is going on? Why do these names keep changing? Well, we are experimenting with this tool called Scout Neighbor, which is sort of in beta. I haven't really talked about it yet, so you're kind of the first to hear about it. But what it does is I took about 1,000 of their customers, and I found the 5 nearest neighbors to their 1,000 customers, and I excluded all current customers, right? So each of these postcards, each of these 5 postcards, 5 to 6 postcards, is personalized to their neighbor. So this person probably knows Robert and Christine. And by the way, see Buyers Leaf Guard in person at 311 South Church Street. So you could walk there, and it's probably your next door neighbor. So not only do you know Robert and Christine, which is a super important social proof message, right? It's like your neighbor. You know your neighbor. You trust them. They make good decisions. So we've got a couple of areas of social proof here. But you can go see the product. Do you want to see, how long's it been there? Is it still holding up, right? It's another visual proof. So I'm actually saying, you know what? Don't call me now. Go out and see this product live in person. So I think this is the best campaign we've ever produced. It's a really slick marketing message, and thanks to buyers for allowing us to test this type of messaging. The offer is really clear. It's in a robust market. We're hitting people multiple times, which is always important. You never want to send one postcard. And it's simple. There's not a lot here. And that's really, really important. You're going to be tempted to put a lot of crap on your postcard. And this is why a lot of people actually go with letters, because they want to talk about the world. And it actually is really hard to get a postcard right, because most of this is headline and offer and not much else. People see a wall of text and they say, oh, forget it. That is the very first public preview of a Scout. It's called Scout Neighbor, and we are launching it in a month or so. And if you'd like to get on the beta, please contact me. I'm Jordan at sendwithscout.com. And you should congratulate yourself for learning about super advanced postcard marketing tactics that almost no one else in the industry is doing. And you now have a heads up about cool ways that you can market with postcard marketing. Cool ways that you can market using postcards. See you on the flip side.